as someone who didn't grow up with guns being a big part of my family tradition, I probably can't totally appreciate the cost that has for a lot of people. But I do want to, say that I respect that is a cost. And I'm here and I'm passionately introducing this bill because I also really believe that there is a very important and concrete benefit to this legislation. The reality is, in this country, a huge portion of the mass shooter tragedies and situations involve the use of high-capacity magazines that people use in order to shoot as many innocent people as possible, as quickly as possible, before having to reload. We know that in a lot of these situations in the past, it's been that moment when someone had to reload that the situation was able to be brought under control. And so I think it's safe to say that there's a benefit to trying to keep these tools out of the hands of folks that should not have them, that might use them in that kind of situation. I also want to be upfront that this bill wouldn't 100% guarantee that no one could get their hands on it. That's true. I'm sure it'll come up. Rhode Island is one state. There are other states surrounding us who passed this as well, but we are one state. It might be possible to get it from another place. And even beyond that, there's always a black market. So it's not going to be 100% that someone couldn't get their hands on this. But I think we can also agree, based on the laws of supply and demand, that when you significantly decrease the supply of something, it's going to make it a lot harder for a lot of people to get their hands on it. It's creating another obstacle and barrier. It's not necessarily about, law-abiding citizens will follow this and people who are going to break the law anyway won't, because supply and demand affects everyone whether you follow the law or not. This is about creating a significant barrier to someone who might use this in a mass shooter situation from getting their hands on it. And ultimately, that's about protecting innocent human lives. So again, we should be honest, this is a cost-benefit analysis. Those of us in this room are probably going to have different analyses on where the cost is and where the benefit is. I'm here because I think we need to put a whole lot of value into the possibility of protecting and saving potential human lives. I think that needs to be, the value of that is enormous, and therefore we should really put real consideration into legislation like that, because to me that cost-benefit analysis winds up to the side of saving possibly fellow Rhode Islanders from what could be a real tragedy. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Representative Regunberg? Representative Flippy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Representative Regunberg. So why was the number 10 chosen?
Number 10 was chosen because you have to choose a number, and that's an area that's it's much higher than what we regulate for certain animal hunting,
Has there been any analysis done on the percent of firearms within the state of Rhode Island that this would affect?
I believe there are some folks who are going to be speaking later who could address that better than me.
But as of now, we don't know how many people this would turn into criminals within 120 days of us passing this bill if they don't fail to remove the high-capacity magazine from the state, sell it to a licensed firearm dealer, or surrender it to police. We don't know how many people would be criminals if we didn't do that.
Right? I don't have that number. There might be someone coming up who does.
Okay. And did you realize that a large portion of handguns out there actually have magazines that are larger than 10 rounds? Mm-hmm. This isn't just affecting what some people like to call assault rifles. That might not be the proper definition. This affects personal handguns.
Right.
You're aware of that?
Right.
Okay.
Again, the idea is that high-capacity magazines would allow someone in a mass shooter situation to shoot as many people as possible, as quickly as possible, before they have to pause and reload. which again is a moment that allows for folks to take control of that situation, whether it's an AR-15 or a handgun.
Thank you.